Very, 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 very good afternoon, good morning, good evening to all of you, wherever you are in this part of the world or that part of the world. Uh, Sadly speaking, Corona is still happening. Corona is parting as well again. We have to continue to be careful, mask up, sanitize, be safe, be careful, but at the same time, have to live our life. This session is I don't know the right English word for it. थोड़ा अनपढ़ हूँ तो I'll have to think about it. But बहुत ही मेरे लिए for personal reasons, as Amit Malhotra, the founder of WFM, very special moment because the two people who are going to join us today, and you know who they are very, very special to me and extremely close to me as friends. Uh, I can say that today they are more friends than they started off as customers. And I think the journey starts almost 21, 22 years ago. The first gentleman that I'm talking about is Pankaj Keshwani, the managing director and founder of Alufit, Bombayite by birth, and then shifted to Bangalore, and has been my friend, mentor since the last 22 years. The biggest fact that he's a great guy is because he tolerated me for 22 years and he's still my friend. Uh, Pankaj, this is your biggest credit that you've gained in your life. I don't know what you have to say, but I've got to speak this out.
I had to come in because
Yes.
you said, I've tolerated you for 20 years. So yes, okay. So please proceed.
Well, I would have to be just kind to say that I have appreciated you and I've not given the tolerated word for you. But
Mhm.
we have had plenty of evenings, days, traveling, eating, drinking, doing Amritsar. Uh,
Mm.
Pankaj has been grateful to me from a religious point of view that I was never a religious type. So he took me for my first trip, pious trip to Amritsar. And we've been doing that for maybe about I think 10 years now. I think that we've
Sure.
been trying to
Mm.
go every year. He has been and Kamlesh won't mind this, but for me, he's the most handsome guy in the facade industry, and I still
क्यों
touch
मजाक कर रहे हो?
wood to that. And more than that, I think he has been a part of the institution called the facade contracting, facade building industry in India. You go anywhere in the world, Pankaj Keshwani is a well-known name. Alufit is probably as well a well-known name.
Thank you.
The second person to join is Kamlesh Chaudhary. I have known him as well for the last 21 plus years. When Kamlesh used to run a company called MJ Enterprises, who had a small office in Powai, in that area in a small building, and then moved from there to many places and where he is today. And the funniest thing I'll tell you about this guy, Kamlesh, I go to this Dhirubhai Ambali Knowledge City site way back, God knows when, how many years back. And this guy in the midst of the heat, like in Dubai, is wearing a tie and moving around on the site. And I'm like, hello, here, tie, what are you doing, bro? Kamlesh, come on, man, open your camera. I've still not asked you this question. I don't want to die with the question. You have to answer the question. What were you doing with a tie on a site?
Plus, as a construction man, you need to take so many, avatars or routes, and when your company is small, you are everything, from the salesman to the accounts guy to the, so you
Chairman.
go for the meetings as well as you are at site, And I think those days were unique days. Those days were very interesting days where everything was being managed at one level, at one point. I think, and that was the point when you met, when you're doing everything, from the start to the finish. So you would find us like that Sanjeev Kumar movie where he had 9 roles. So probably that tie was one of those roles which you saw. You should have come in the evening when I would have met you with all those tools and tackles.
No, but I won't say distinctly remember. I have a reasonable memory. I remember every moment of my life where I've seen the journey of a lot of people, including myself, of course. And like you have gone through the journey of being the president to PN, I still continue to do that. As I build new businesses, I become the PN again, and then I start from and for me, that's the funnest part. When और on ground level पे रहते हैं करके तो अच्छा लगता है कि you are know what you're doing. The point is that I've been listening to a lot of books of late with respect to the stories at different corporate level companies in American and Indian and stuff. And I think to be different is not something that you do intentionally. It is what you are. It is where you come from. It is where your nature is. It is where your character is. You don't have to work hard to be different, and very few of us can actually say that we are different, and we don't feel bad about the fact that we are different. You know what I mean?
True.
There's a saying that I accept that I'm indifferent or different, and I don't care a flying hoot for anybody who thinks anything. And that's where I'm just going to share my screen. I want to have the audience to know, if they don't know already. One second. If they don't know already what kind of works you have done, but I'm sure everybody knows. I must honestly confess that WFM community, an initiative that we started only about 6 months ago, we say established 2020, has 2000 plus members who have joined us. The whole idea is to build a social platform or a professional platform only for the facade and fenestration industry in India. And they call the MENA region, Middle East, Northern Africa, Southeast Asia. India, Southeast Asia, and part of Middle East, we are fairly active and are doing more and more events as we go along. Let me also tell you, ladies and gents who are listening from any other part of India, that Mr. Keshwani and Mr. Chaudhary are very much interested to do work outside of India as well. They are still the types of people who get up to go to work every day. Age is just a number. And they want to get more work. And if I show you the kind of work they've done, for those who don't know, it's pretty much like anywhere else in the world. Having said that, WFM community wants to showcase people from India towards the outside of the world, and people from outside of the world toward India, to have a more collaborative effort to put this together. So I really don't need to introduce Pankaj. He has now built 3 plants, 2 in Bangalore, 1 in Bombay, Bangalore, Hosur. And I've known him too long to talk too much about him. I just love him so much, so they'll be pretty biased, but that's where we are. Same goes for Kamlesh. A difference there is that Pankaj bought me always alcohol. Kamlesh has only bought me vada pav. So that's probably Pankaj. Sorry, Kamlesh, you have to cover up. But having said that, he has. I think it's better to show the work. And today's subject, without I forget that it's not just for the 3 of us to have fun today, it's to add some value and put up a point to the industry, to the architects, specifiers, to the developers, setting the benchmark in facade contracting. Both the gentlemen have been around for more than 25 years, and I think we must hear them out in terms of what their concerns are, how we can save time and save money. Everybody has to profit from the business that they do. So let's not misunderstand the fact that profit is bad. Profit is good. Otherwise, how do you survive 25, 30 years in any business? So just to give you a little synopsis of projects done by Alufit here, Amazon, Hyderabad, beautiful looking campus, Godrej, Bombay, Goldman Sachs, Bangalore, RMZ World Bangalore, ITC Green Center Bangalore, the Four Seasons in Mumbai. It's an iconic building. There's a different views at different times of the day, I guess, also from the time that it was being built. This is the TCS building in Rajarhat, the World Trade Center in Chennai, Brigade. This is the night shot. Funny thing, as much as I know all of it, I also know the guy who took these pictures. Satya, boy that I've known also for 20 plus years. The TCS campus, Hyderabad, Bhubaneswar. Some iconic buildings, interesting buildings. I guess he would have worked with every major leading architect India around the world. Is Chong Beng still around, Pankaj? I still don't remember.
Oh, yes, he is. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God bless. You give him my best regards. Then we change focus to some of works by Glassfall Systems. MJ Enterprises, am I right? No, Kamlesh, that's where you started. No?
Still exists.
Great. No, great. Bagmane, Goldstone. This is where, Kamlesh, this one?
Bangalore. This is Outer Ring Road in Bangalore.
Bangalore, okay. So probably under Pankaj's nose somewhere. India Bulls, JW Marriott, the Kohinoor. This is a famous one, the Kohinoor Square. The 42, I think, is Bombay, is it?
That's
Calcutta.
It's in Calcutta, the tallest
Calcutta.
building.
Right.
Calcutta.
And I think the ones on the right, the world one, is probably the largest, tallest residential building in the world.
No, not that was.
It was okay.
It keeps on changing. So we always say that it is the tallest residential or the tallest commercial as of now.
And somebody else will do it. ठीक है, वो Middle East वाले बहुत बैठे हैं, उनको सब कुछ चाहिए height. Let them be. Now, why, I wanted to just show you guys the work that they have done. This is just a small synopsis of, I guess, Pankaj, how many projects have you executed in your career so far? If you would know a number, you think?
Yes, I think we'd have done about 1,000+ projects, right?
Wow.
We've been around about 35 years now, having started out in '84. So, an average of about 25 to 30 projects a year that we do. Say the first 5 years were maybe a fewer projects, 7, 8, 10 projects at that time. But yes, by now we would have crossed about 1,000 projects for sure. Right?
And Kamlesh?
Almost the number really, I don't really recall the number as number, but yes, at an average of, even if you look at around 25, 30 projects to the peak at a time when we had 65 projects running in a year, probably we are looking at anything where any number between 600 to 900, It's really, for when you say a project could be a small as well as a large,
Right.
But if you say fairly large number of projects, which is like ITs or campuses or buildings, should be more than 400 to 500 numbers.
So, idea was not to get a competitive edge, one of the other, but my idea was to have what my point of view is here. Collectively, you've done close to 2,000 projects. You would have bid for maybe about 7 to 10,000 projects in your life. You would have had probably to have worked or at least tendered with every leading developer. You would have probably had the opportunity to have met every leading architect or any architect in this country. You would have worked with the top corporates, whether it's the TCS and the IT companies to the Amazons of the world. And I know Pankaj with SAP, SAP Labs, and you have had the privilege of working a lot with the Prestige Group, with Irfan Bhai and the family, Brigade, and Lodha, and of course, projects done here in the north with DLF or some other people, and Calcutta as well. So I'm trying to express the following point to the audience. You have probably done more work than this whole industry collectively together in India over the last 20 plus years, 25 years. You would have probably worked with every leading architect. I'm sake for the sake of repetition. Architect, developer, builder, consultant, Indian, foreign, facade consultants. The growing wave of facade consultants now, I would say. Now there was a slow wave, then there's a lot of people, then blah, blah. Leave that subject.
Corona. Yeah.
Okay, Corona. So
second wave.
Second wave. So I want to be very specific, and why we actually anchored this session today is India wants to know, the community wants to know, and the developers and the architects and the clients should want to know in 25, 30 years that you've actually rugged yourself in this industry. So I put the following questions. You take them on your own in whichever way you would like to answer, and the sequence is completely up to you. Why aren't the projects awarded in time still? Why isn't the project still considered that you should open the books to the contractor, the facade contractor, at the right time? Why? Why aren't the drawings released in time? Why are there still delays when you know that if you, Pankaj, go to a client and said, boss, we've had this experience 10 times, trust me, he says, I trust you, but he still doesn't do what you tell him to do. Has that changed? Why has that not changed? And give me some examples, both of you, from projects that you've executed, probably without naming, that everything went fair weathers beautifully and completed on time. And the rest is, so there's corporate, there's developer, own building projects, malls, blah, blah, blah. And then there is other kind of institutional projects. So please, world wants to know what has changed, what has not. Maybe Pankaj.
Okay, so sure. Okay, so let me first dwell on the positives. I think we've come a long way from where we were earlier. In terms of awarding of contract, in timing, in terms of expectations, right? So there's been a lot of change if you look at it from what happened from 2000 onwards. And I'm saying 2000 because that's when curtain walling really took some kind of starting point in the country. Before that, it was just regular doors, windows, the mechanical curtain wall. So when you look at structural glazing and the likes, that's when India really changed from, around the late 90s, early 2000s. So if you look at it from then to now, the kind of changes that have taken place have been drastic, right? There have been many positives. But if since today we are really talking about what can be done and what should be done and where are the improvements, what can happen, I think let's speak on those. Uh, First and foremost, yes, jobs still don't get awarded on time most of the time, right? I think I guess uh, it's a mindset with most people, and I think consultants would probably or developers would probably agree, and they think that feel glazing. It's simple. I mean, you can just finish this. It's not like civil construction. It takes a lot of time. Everybody understands that this, you got to go down so many, 100 feet. You got to put piling. You got to do it. Then there's, rain. This happens. I feel that's an unorganized industry, so you need to give that much ahead in time. But this is a little more organized. So, if I delay 1-2 months and then I give it in, doesn't matter, right? We can kind of make up the lost time. One is that belief, I think, and maybe Kamlesh can would have his thoughts on it. He can concur, or he has something to add. He can please feel free, right? So one was that they feel that you can just do it, right? The second thing is that invariably sometimes they're waiting and in the belief that if we hold on, right, and we give this order a little later, right, we could get some price advantage, right? You can keep negotiating, right? So you keep that pushing the envelope, right, saying, okay, let me get more quotes, let me get more details, let me uh, let me just try and work a little more on them, right? And then they kind of so they feel that if I delay it, I could get a better pricing, right? And the third is that, okay, so what? So anyway, I have a contract. I mean, I put them down. I put my terms of my conditions. You don't perform, fine. We have, we have ways and means in which to, make you work faster and harder because we have penalty clauses in place, right? Okay, which let's say there are no penalty clauses in place. Let's say for a consultant, there's no penalty clauses in place for an architect. There are no penalty clauses in place for a project management consultant. If there are any delays on their side or they haven't been able to complete the project. But when it comes to any contractor, when it comes to actual physical working, we find that we sign on the dotted line. If there's any delay beyond a point, right, there'll be a 5% penalty, 1% per week, subject to a 0.5% per
Have
week.
you ever wondered
like
why
that.
only the contractor is penalized and why all the others are not? Have you ever debated it with any architect or a consultant or with the client?
So I have an answer to that, Amit. The only two people who put the money onto the project is either client or the contractor. These are the two key investors on the project.
So you can only penalize the person who puts the money.
So absolutely. So everybody else is not investing the amount of money required onto the project. So my take is probably we are all driven. We are still in that mode that there are 2-3 aspects to the projects, whether being awarded on time or not. There are 2-3 aspects to it. When you look at this part of the world, which is probably west part of the world, probably Mumbai metro region or somebody, probably every day there are changes which comes in the bylaws, and every day there are changes, where the FAR or the FSI, so-called FAR or the FSI is either added, and it keeps on multiplying on the project. So the design keeps on undergoing changes and changes and changes till one day that the developer decides that enough now, I do not want to consume any more FAR now I want to award this project. I think that is a very, very thin line, and I would put it between the requirement and the benefit that they get with the bylaws which are changing. Also the design keeps on constantly changing. That's very, very important, in at least in this part of the world, which I see, and which drives the contracting part. So that is one reason that I believe for things getting delayed. Second is, yes, I acknowledge with Pankaj that facade is not a very, very big rocket science technology. It can be happened, it can be pushed. it can be done. Whereas if you see the Western world and other worlds, other part of the world, if you just study those things, facade is being awarded at least 18 months, 14 months prior to, even the first panel going on to the building. If you go and meet somebody, they will be very, very, they will very conservatively ask, that whether today, if I'm having a meeting with somebody, they'll conservatively ask whether you'll be able to supply the panel in December 22. Okay, that's never the question over here. That's here, it is always like the day it is awarded, we have to finish it, no matter, there are only two barometers. Either it has to be 7 months or 9 months. Here, the requirement is of 5 months. So basically, that's what is the challenge, which is always there. And this is market driven. This is not driven by myself, or I'm sure Pankaj will agree that it's not we who drive that. But yes, this is all market driven. So probably, yes, one has to need and analyze and see the perspective, the advantages of ordering earlier, the advantages of how a facade contractor can be bought early on board. What are the design which we can put in as our expertise into it? What changes or what little additions, small things, if we add on to it, a small upstand on a building, if you can just change that little design onto it, probably, you can save things. You can save aluminum structure. A lot of things can come with the knowledge. Now, one has to decide whether he's open to listening, he's open to discuss this knowledge or sharing this knowledge, or they just want to go and just finish or set a deadline, which is most of the time is very challenging.
So the question here is, Kamlesh, thanks for the input. The question is, okay, I'm sure 18, 14 months in advance is the right ideal window, and 5 months is what the real window is what is you're saying is happening between 5 to 7. Pankaj, have you got a job with a 12-month window?
Yes, we did. And if I've heard Kamlesh right, he was saying that do you get a 12-month window or an 18-month window between getting the job and putting your first panel on the building, right? Yeah. So yes, we did get. I could take a name, and it was Goldman Sachs that was given to us, right? So there was a 14-month gap between from the time the job was awarded and when we really got down to starting on the building. So, but then, like I said, these are few and rare, right? They're not really the norm. They're more the exception, right? So if you really look at it, what are the pluses with it? They come with pluses and they come with minuses too, right?
Yeah.
The pluses that you get a lot of time for planning, for research, for thinking, for debating, for analyzing, for reviewing, right? And you can bring your best foot forward, and you can have a lot of iterations with the architects, with the consultants, and finally, put many mock-ups, many samples, and you can get this all done, right? The flip side is that when you take jobs so much ahead in time and you have contracts which have no escalation, right? You have a huge, challenge there because, let's say you're buying glass from overseas, and which happened in the case of Goldman Sachs that came in from Shanghai Pilkington, right? And the dollar moves, right? Which does every year, the rupee depreciates by about 3 to 4%. So 3 years down the line, you've got to either, let's say, catch that into your pricing. You need to factor that in, or you just got as a lame duck at that time, right? So there are, and then aluminum. Look at what's happened today. Today, the last 6 months has gone up by 50,000 rupees per ton. Now, and you don't have any escalation clauses with the client, because the first thing they do is when you take a contract, it said it's fixed for this period of time. And so these are certain areas where we get caught in the wrong foot, right? Where these are issues that happen. But yeah, to do a great job, to do a good job, things, if they come in much earlier, it's better, right? But I do understand the Indian market too. We are not like the US, we are not like the West, wherein they have a lot of time on their hands, where they're growing at probably negative percentages or 1% or 2% annually. Here, we've got to make up for lost time. We're at 10, 12% annual growth rates, right? We've got so much of, ITES, so many buildings, so many campuses coming up, barring the fact that what's happened over the last 1 year. But otherwise, there were buildings just, coming out by everybody, because like India was consuming almost, maybe 100 million square feet every year, 12, 15 million out of Bangalore, 15 million out of, Mumbai and Pune, things like that. So maybe 50, 60 million was being consumed. So naturally, when you have that kind, you can't be talking about 1.5 years or 1 year in planning, right? The whole thing has to be 10, 12 months start to finish.
So
And that's where I think where we've had to up our game, right?
I think just to, kind of tap what you just said, Pankaj, is the fact that there are a lot of plus points which are related to time, planning, debate, analyze, review, iteration, consulting, mockups. The the biggest negative side is the commercial negative, which in case of escalation for pricing, dollar or currency or import, then the hit is taken by you. In most cases, you have no escalation, right?
True, true,
So,
absolutely.
but paisa is everything at the end of the day for everybody. But at the same time, upside be non-financial, but it could have a financial upside as well if planning can help you save money, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, but then, not all buildings need to have that 12, 15 months. It depends. You're talking about a 500,000 square feet, maybe it's 700,000 square feet, you don't need it. You're talking about a 5 million square feet development, then yes, it needs a lot of time to, there are 4, 5 buildings, you need time to plan, you need to research, you need to do it, right? So it's a case to case basis. To to just add to what Kamlesh said, or to just put it in the right perspective. uh, Today everything is being painted with one brush, right? Whether it's a 1 million square feet or it's a 5 million square feet, you only get 5 months, right? Okay, that's the time that you have. Point is, that needs to be a segregation. This is a fast track project. This is 200,000, 300,000 square feet, 500. We're going to finish this in 10 months. Fantastic. Oh, let's get ahead with it. This is 5 million. Let's start thinking much ahead, right? Let's get onto it. You join us on the drawing board stage. Now that's happening very few and rare. We are seeing it. We are talking to people, but like I said, that's more the exception than the rule.
So, Kamlesh, you kind of resonate the same thought as Pankaj?
Yes, I think we are in the same waters, so it is the same thing, what I look at is probably because if we are developing and we are evolving, these challenges will be there. If you look at Western countries and Western part of the world, they decide 5 years in advance and they build in 2 years. We start and we end up in 7 years. So the time consuming is the same. It's a matter of how do you look at the opportunity and what is the opportunity that you have, whether in doing in advance helps you or then putting the time otherwise helps you. Time remains the same, it doesn't change. Okay, only the system or the SOPs change. The time required to envelop the building does not change. So you need to look at, plus buildings in India is always like it's always an iconic project. Whoever we talk with, it's always the iconic building which is there. It's all built to suit to the requirement. So there are a lot of challenges in terms of design, which is always there. And our engineering strength, particularly in India, we should be very proud of it. That our engineering strength is much ahead compared to anybody else in the world. And that really helps us to take up this challenge of 5 months or 7 months or 9 months. Had it been, our engineering would have not been good, we would have never been able to take the challenge. Because see, 9 out of 10 buildings, we are not using ready-made systems. We're not using, it's all custom made, whether it is a small fin or a section or a cap or floor height, or things change from building to building. And salute to our engineering team. That's the key, I feel. And that's why
I want to just
probably we
add
are
to
able
it.
to match this or take up these challenges, of even 5 months or 7 months or 9 months.
I
I
want
can
to just
prefer.
add to this, sorry, to what Kamlesh said. Our engineering strength and our teams that we have, right? The Indian mindset, we're so open to working hard, right? We don't have this multinational culture, 5 days a week, aaj ho gaya, Friday 5 o'clock, everybody's rushing to go home, right? you my team, they work 24/7, literally, the drawing design team, there are so many changes. We can turn around details drawings in no time at all, and the same thing holds good for site construction. I mean, corona, our site started 4th of May when the government allowed us. In fact, in Bangalore it was 25th April, right? All the sites restarted. The teams were so keen to come back. And you look at it today, the IT and the ITES are still sitting at home. right? They're so scared. They're just, thinking, I mean, the first thing Corona is going to hit them, right? And it's convenient for them because they can sit at home and work. But uh, how do you get that building up? You can't get that building up if Kamlesh and me are going to be sitting here in the office and doing discussions with you, right? We got to be there on the ground, on the floor, with our people, with our men, right, and getting that building installed and getting that glass. So, it's a big difference. Our teams are our strength, really, right?
I
Like I
think
said,
just
whether
to,
it's design, production, projects, everywhere. Yeah,
I think I
sorry,
just
go
want
ahead.
to compliment. I want to compliment and give it a little bit of a capsule word. In
Yeah.
India, all of us have BSc, MSc, MBA in Jugaad, and that's the whole ethos of, or whatever you can give the pedigree of the knowledge side. And I think absolutely right. The strength is where sometimes it's a negative, sometimes it's a positive. Of course, for the current moment, it's a positive because you get the work done in time or whatever. So I want to take one more point up is that repeat one question just for having some fun. You guys must have bid on projects together. Have you fought with each other on a project or something like that? Or come on, come on.
Never fought. No, 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 no.
I
Hello.
gosh.
Yeah, we
Always,
meet. We
it's,
meet.
it's
I
always
mean, at
like
the
the
end of the
T20
day,
final. It's always like the IPL T20. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But at least we are playing the finals. I think
we're great.
that's more interesting than anything else. You
So
are in
at the end of the day, we are either handsome winners or graceful losers, right? That's
Yeah,
it.
but it's like this, like when the project is
so
lost and then
somebody says it. That you never lose or earn. You always learn. So probably we learn from whatever we lose or whatever we.
Okay.
I think see this challenge itself makes us more approachable from the client's point of view. That there are very few people in the country who can have this turnaround time, and probably very less. That so we need to really scale up to that level of coming up to the challenges, and this understanding is required. So design engineering strength is
but
something which is key to.
Kamlesh, you turned my question around. I was going to have some fun and you made it a little bit more on design engineering. But it's okay. Let it be. My intent was just to add some spice in this whole conversation. But having said that, I think it's very normal. As we grow, we have to bid projects. The largest size are limited in number, and there are few players who can bid for it around the country. And that's where the industry was 21 years ago when I probably entered it, and there's still pretty much the same people. Lots of them have vanished, only some have survived. So kudos to you guys who have survived it and have done some iconic
Thank
buildings.
you.
Like every building is iconic. Now, to just take a few minutes, okay, I want to just make a scenario. You have a client who hands you over a drawing and says, give me a quote. And then like Pankaj said in the beginning कि वो delay करते रहते हैं ताकि थोड़ा सस्ता होता जाए, थोड़ा सस्ता होता जाए, थोड़ा सस्ता होता जाए. फिर वो कमलेश को पकड़ाते हैं, फिर वो थर्ड को पकड़ाते हैं, फिर फोर्थ को पकड़ाते हैं कि वो कम करेगा. तो लेट्स से 100 करोड़ था, वो 90 आ गए, 85 आ गए, 82. ये स्टोरी रिपीट हो चुकी है कम से कम 10 बार विद द सेम क्लाइंट. एंड ही आल्सो नोस के काम किसको देना है. It's like you go to a restaurant and you look at the menu, but you know what you want to eat. And when you want to eat, the price is fixed. Now, in from a perspective, and don't be political about it, Kamlesh, just be spelling your heart out, and same goes to Pankaj. Okay, tell your clients what you want to tell them today through this medium of WFM. Okay, अब वो games people play, everybody knows. Let's get out to doing some great work. 1 crore, 2 crore आगे पीछे में, it doesn't make a difference to a magnitude of 100, 200 crores as a project. So maybe Kamlesh, no political words, Kamlesh.
Basically, what we need to look at is the most important thing which one has to look at is there has to be a clear-cut difference between the men and the boys, which we lack today. There's no difference between the men and the boys. So that's a very, very big situation. The entry barriers, are very, very vulnerable, and that makes sometimes it's the entire project is at risk because of this approach. So I would appeal, and I would say that this distinction between men and boys is a must. You go to Singapore, if you got a 100 million job or a 1 million or a 10 million, or there is a clear-cut category into it. There is a certain amount of people who can only bid for this job. People can't bid at all. So, and gradually it is not that only the bigger guys remain, but the smaller guys also move up, and they reach to that ladder. But the whole thing is that we need to make ourselves, that it has to be a difference. I would appeal that. I would say that look at the kind of investment on the project that you are looking at. Thousands of crores you're putting onto the project, and then what are you looking at? I know you're looking at, our job is like a tailor. You're buying a Versace suit, and then are you want to go into a darji, or you want to go to a professional tailor, or you want to go to a tailor who will stitch your suit, probably, who understands everything, you understands your body, or you just want to take a risk of this darji who may or who may not stitch your suit well, and then you're gone away with that Versace cloth also. So the idea is, the one is,
I want to pause, Kamlesh, just give me 1 second. I want to actually, what I'm trying to do is I'm along with our team at WFL, actually issue a small benchmark for the industry, considering, and whoever gets me wrong, I apologize. I have no intention to. These are my good friends, but they are more professionally inclined as people who are in the facade business, and I take their word seriously. So should the industry be. So what we will release is a small line of benchmarking, which is largely driven to the clients, whether you like it, you don't like it, all that's up to you. It's our duty as a free community, as a media community, to be able to specify what the feelings and perspectives of one of the largest companies in this business are saying. We'll issue it as a end of this seminar going out in social media. This is the two gentlemen from this industry with 30, 66, 70 years of combined experience are saying difference between the men and the boys. And I think that's a good enough word. I think people do understand men versus boys. That's point number one. Kamlesh, point number two is money being invested on the project, the size and scale. You should have the working capital. If you get a 200 crore job, you should at least be a 500 crore company to be able to handle that size of job. Nahi to paisa kahan se aayega?
absolutely.
Next, give me more points, and I'm excited to write them down and then publish.
I think these are some of the key factors when you talk about, how do you bring a difference. So industry is evolving, and probably, any emerging economy is defined by the number of glass buildings it has. So that's where we stand about.
Pankaj, you want to add a few more benchmarking questions, points?
No, I mean, I think was well summarized, actually, that the very, it's like there is really no distinction at times. There are jobs like, for example, let's say we do 500 crores and you're tendering for a 40 crore job, and they're actually talking to people whose previous year's turnover is less than 40 crores. Now, how do you talk to somebody and you put him on the same scale with us, right? And say, here's this guy, he'll do an equally good job. We've been to his factory, we've seen yours, and we can do it. But what is his infrastructure? What is it? Is he capable of doing it? He's only done 40 crores. He's only 2 years on the market, 3 years. How will he even, understand what you're looking for? What is his infra design team? What is his, team in terms of installation? What are the jobs he's done? So it's sad that, when you're really, it's not that we have anything against somebody. I mean, it's just that, you earn your stripes and then, win the job. I mean, be capable of doing that kind of work, but let price not be the factor, right, on which you're really judged. Because at the end of the day, you're just judged saying that, tumhara daam kya hai, bhav kya hai, right? And I think that's a very unfair way of selecting a vendor at times, right? I mean, price is one, but that's not the only factor. Look at the comfort level that, let's say, an established company gives you, right? You have zero headaches, no leakages, no challenges, no problems. You get your building on time, you get your rent on time, you lease it right, yeah? And if you have a problem and there's a delay, we have the people who can bring another 50, 70, 100 people. We can add the resources because we've got 700, 800 people outside at different project sites. So that's what you bring to the table. But to compare it to someone who's, 1/10 or less than 1/10 your size is a little unfair. Hence the point that Kamlesh said, that when you go to places like Singapore, like, okay, if you're looking at 5 million and more, there are these companies, 2 to 5 million, these companies, less than 2 million, these companies. So that's how this thing has to work here too.
And that's actually an encouraging thing. If you know that if I'm not in that race, I will make sure that I do jobs, I perform, so that I get into that race. So we want to encourage and increase the industry footprint. It's not that we don't want to increase the footprint, but we want to raise the scale, the levels also in the industry. it has to be, the scalability should be raised up. The benchmarking should be raised up is what we are trying to say. And second is, see, I would say, in inverted commas, after doing 20, 25 years into this is all what we know, and this is all we are good at it. So let us do what we are good at, rather than, you buying a material, or you buying glass, or you buying everything, I think they should stick to what they are good at, making buildings, selling buildings, leave it to the specialist, that is what, you don't go to a heart doctor, heart surgery and guide him, that I'll get you a valve, I'll buy a valve for you, and I'll get you a syringe for you. I don't think you do it, you be in that safe hands. So the appeal would be that, that we should look at that, what we are good at, and how do we explore that in a better way.
Explore it to the positive potential to be able to get the maximum value out of it.
Absolutely. Leave it, it's our responsibility. We have to deliver, we have to make sure that what we are committed is what we deliver, and that is what we do.
Now, in the point is that also the fact is that when you're looking at scale, you're looking at putting a footprint, you're talking about a specialist. No specialist is made in 2 days. It takes a couple of decades or decades of experience. What you have in Paradigm is experience.
Yes.
That experience can only be utilized by somebody to add value if you would like to. But in India, I guess this reinventing the wheel is a common practice. I don't know if it is still that big, but I want to ask you a question, which is very relevant.
Sorry, Amit, I just missed. I had a little blip in between. I missed the last 2 minutes.
We were just talking about that we want to scale, we want to do great jobs. And what Kamlesh was emphasizing is the fact that, you are good at what you know. A builder is good at making a building, developer is good at developing the project. We are good at making a facade. Let everybody do their part and not try to, like you were saying, you don't go to a heart specialist and say, boss, I'll get you the wall sasta aur tu laga diyo karke. It's not that. But now I have a question. You must have taken up jobs pre-corona or whatever. Now all of a sudden, since the last 6-8 months, the prices of glass and metal, pretty much everything has gone up by what, 10, 20, 30, 40%.
Correct.
What's going on? You went to the client and said, boss, give me price increase. What did you have? What happened?
Yeah, we are fighting the battle.
You're fighting the battle, but the battle, the other person knows that this is a war going on. The other person is trying to help you.
See, they have all the intent to help you. It's not that they don't want to help you, because ultimately it is affecting, it's going on to their building, whatever is additional is going on to their building. It's not on us, or it's not that we are trying to take away at home kind of situation.
Correct.
Whatever it's going on to the building. Very difficult situation for them also, because everything has increased, like somebody, I met a very renowned developer day before yesterday, and he was telling me, Kamlesh, we have committed apartments 5 years back, and we have committed at that price, and out of the 100 apartments, we have sold 40 apartments. Now, whether to sell those and to deliver those 40 apartments, I have to make 100 apartments. I cannot only make 40 apartments and give that building, to them. So probably the challenge is a larger challenge on their part also. At the same time, what we are looking at is, if you look at the index, you have got a cement index, you've got a steel index, you've got an index which is, governed and which is well recognized by the industry in the civil sector. We are missing that index in our industry. If we have an index of aluminum and glass, probably, that will become a barometer for the entire market, not for one, not for us, because even they going back and asking their clients that, look, the index has gone up, like we have the labor index, we have got the cement, we have got the steel index, So I think that's what we are missing, and we should, and through your channel and through this medium, I think you are the right person, Amit. You should take this to the next level and try to, get onto something which has got an index coming into the facade industry,
No, I give it a
barometer, probably,
I give it a name. I call it the facade index. We'll start publishing it from May with the prices of all the main items, tempered glass to laminated glass to aluminum to extrusion to ingot to price and variance. We can start putting a table. Consider that jump. Thank you, Kamlesh. I think this is very important because it's a neutral. We are a neutral body. We are not influenced by anybody to publish a price. Whatever it is what it is. And
What I think is, we are not talking about glass wall, we're talking about elephant. We're talking
correct,
about the market.
everybody.
And the markets will change the trend. It is not that, maybe if I decide tomorrow, if I decide today that, okay, no, I want to increase or I want to get an increase, probably it's not that is, it's the market.
No, I think what Kamlesh is trying to portray is that we need to get something done like how, let's say, the construction companies have, wherein cement and steel prices are fixed, right? And maybe a variation of 5% plus minus is included when you tender for a job, right? And anything beyond that could either go to the developer's benefit, or it could, come back to let's say, support the fabricator, because we take jobs at very, very, very thin margins, and I think the world knows it. 7-8%, 10% are not really margins at which you really are able to sustain and run an industry. And plus the fact that escalations take away a few percentage points as you go along, right? So there's such a thin line between being alive and dying, right, in our industry, and that's why you find that there are only a few of us who actually been through a longer haul, right? Many companies have died down on the wayside. International companies have come to India, gone away, knowing how difficult this terrain is, right? There are landmines all over, right? You step on something, you could just die. So it's such a difficult territory, and this is something that we need to know. But what's really hurt me, and I think let's say Kamlesh and me, and probably all the fraternity of, and when I say this, I'm talking on behalf of all the aluminum fabricators and all the people who are in this, is that, seeing this change, this increase in the cost of aluminum and steel, right, which had nothing to do with anybody else, but really, LMEs and the changes that happened, right? This is something that we are bound to buy because it goes based on the LMEs, right? But looking at that, right, the other people around the industry decided that it's time. Why don't कहते ना, सब हाथ धो रहे हैं, गंगा में, तो मैं भी अपना हाथ धो लेता हूँ. So वो तो नहा रहे हैं अभी, right? Exactly, right? So they also come back, right? हो ना हो, right? Okay, we are dying in any case. बोला मर रहा है तो साले उसके ऊपर ही हम चढ़ जाएंगे, right? The glass guys have come. They want to increase. The sealant guys want to increase. The guy who even gives spacer tape, leave alone that, who even gives you gaskets now wants double the price, right? Just giving the excuse of crude and petrol and production costs. I mean, until yesterday everything was fine. Now there are minimum order quantities. They want 2,000 running meters against 200 running meters. So these kind of things is that here they're taking complete advantage of the situation and saying that what to do, prices have gone up, they've increased. You're paying for aluminum, right? Why can't you pay for glass? Or you're paying for glass, or why aren't you paying for this? I think this is where is very unfortunate, that when it's time for them to come and support and to be with you, right, they're trying to exploit you and take it out of you, right? And I mean, it's unfortunate. It's really sad, but it's something that people will learn in the due course of time, because at this moment, if we have to cough up, we have to. But let them understand that we've been here 30 plus years. We're not going anywhere for the next 30 odd years, right? So if anybody has to lose, it's them, because you can take advantage of someone when the chips are down, but you can't take it forever, right?
So I totally agree with you. But just to Pankaj, just to kind of marginally justify on the side, the prices of all raw materials for everything from the large corporates have gone up since December, October of last year, and then the next quarter is still going to be higher. And now they are tightening the neck by not being able to supply enough material to. I know this is an artificial choking that all the multinationals and the suppliers are doing to make the extra buck on the element के भाई last year बड़ा नुकसान हो गया, तो उसको bottom line को थोड़ा सा बचाने के लिए अब इस साल को बचा लेते हैं.
अमित थोड़ा है, थोड़े की जरूरत है. We are all with that,
Correct.
We are all with that. We definitely, it's not only, they are not isolated in this whole world that they only made losses.
Correct.
They're also from the same universe, we don't stay in Mars, kind of. So first, let us look at that. But secondly, tell me, what has gone so wrong that your prices have increased almost 30% to 40%? Are you telling me that pre-COVID you were making 30% losses on the material that you were selling? The argument doesn't hold good. the argument doesn't hold good kind of scenario.
Well, if you,
The challenges what we are looking at is we do understand that there is a loss, there is an opportunity, there is everything which has gone wrong. But to justify it to an extent of increase of 30-40% says that you were totally wrong in the pre-COVID days. And because you were wrong, there is a market pricing which has been established. You cannot change the market pricing overnight. You need to go through a phase, and that's what my point is. And as rightly said Pankaj, okay, 2 projects, okay, fine, good. You're not going to go away, so fine. After 2 projects, good luck.
So, just so that I want to kind of wrap our little discussion from the heart to the other hearts. I hope it's affecting some hearts on the other side of the panel, hopefully. And then the heart influences the brain, and then the brain influences the pen to make decisions. Just so that we all go back a long way. Just as a small summary, I think there are a lot of questions which have come from the audience, and I will have them sent to you later. There are a lot of smaller questions which I don't think I need to detail them. But tell me one question, probably one last question. Is it now becoming normal that a very large project is split between 2 firms? Not yet.
Not as of.
Sorry, go ahead, Kamlesh.
I don't think so. As of now, probably again it is the question of when are you placing that order. Whether you want 2 towers which are 60 stories and you want it in 5 months, then probably you will put your bet into 2 best people.
But aisa hua hai that you have worked with another. I remember Kamlesh, at your Dhirubhai Ambani Knowledge City project, it was you and somebody else who had done the Bajuwala building. The Anil Ambani building you had done, and the
on the next building, not onto the same building. It never happens because ultimately, there is a responsibility of the facade. So the outer skin is our responsibility. So it does not happen that we are working on the 2 ends of the building and the other 2 ends of the building is done by somebody else. It doesn't happen. Yes, if it's a different tower and the timelines are there, which we have to be honest about it. And you have to.
My question is, aisa kabhi hua nahi hai? As it with you, Pankaj, that you are doing the Infosys project and there are 2 facade contractors doing the same project, but 2 buildings, you are doing 2 buildings, somebody else is doing. No.
No, it's not that it's not happened. It happened in the past when we were working with TCS in Hyderabad, right? And they split the job between us and Mero, right? So we were 2 of us who did 2 towers equally within the same time and handed it over. They had a 12-month timeline, right? So it does happen occasionally. It's not commonplace, but when you, like I said, when things are well planned, like when we worked on the Goldman Sachs project, right? There were 3 towers, each of 400,000 square feet each, 1.2 million. There was a timeline. We did all the 3 together. Then there were 2 more that were being again developed by the same developer. Like Kalyani developed for Goldman Sachs and handed over, and then that entire campus is owned by them. But in this case, Goldman was involved in the working. In the next 2 buildings that came up on the campus, which we've completed now, it was only Kalyani. So we worked with them for the next 2 buildings. So it's not, as a general rule, like you said, you go to a restaurant, you like something, you know what you want, this is whom you want to work with, this is what you want to buy, this is what you want to eat. You kind of decide and you work on it. It's rare that if someone fails, then they bring in another person. Right?
Same thing. I think I echo that same because we were doing Indiabulls and we had 4 towers that we were doing together, and each of the towers were like 45 stories and 4 towers going on. It's like 160 floors going on at a time. But absolutely, it was well planned and it was well in time. So it definitely matters. It depends, and on the geography, on the location, and the comfort of the client. A lot of things depend.
So I'm going to kind of make a small conclusive, not a statement, but a summary of what we've had this chat. For the first time on Indian media from the facade industry, ladies and gentlemen.
Amit, before you conclude, one thing that we missed is we are all missing a uniform civil code, in the facade.
Okay.
Say about that uniform code means a testing, that's, we are all following different standards, I think if we could all come in together as a fraternity and have one code of testing, that would help. That would help the industry to save money, help the industry to standardize, and help the code, all the coding authorities or the authorities to also identify the facade with a code. It's difficult. One building is with Australian standards, one building is with American standards, one building is with British standards. The time has come where we need a code of ourselves, which identifies us. The time has come. So probably before you end, I think.
So Kamlesh,
just thought this
thanks
was
for
an
putting
important.
that input, but I think we will circle back with you and with Pankaj later and with the other fraternity members to talk about a facade index. Hopefully in the next 3 months that we should prepare something which could publish trends and also talk about a uniform civil code which we can take up. Just to let you know that we are working with the Bureau of Indian Standards. We've done a session with Mr. Pant as well in the recent past and happy to work together. But okay, on another note, that is the job that I think WFM Media has to do, to be able to put the industry together and to make sure that everybody's concerned are listened to and then consolidate something which is a voluntary thing. Whether you like it, you take it, you don't like it, you don't take it, but at least there is something which you can refer to. I can tell you proudly that we are doing with the UPVC Association called UDMA. We've just published a letter on behalf of the association a couple of weeks ago to express the need for the customer to pay slightly higher because the raw material prices have all gone up. How a client will look at it is that's upon him, but at least from an industry standpoint, we have published a letter which has taken all the suppliers into the fold and said, what is your price increase? So we will circle back with you on this facade index, and it's a great idea. Kamlesh, thank you very much. I think the benchmark requires to have a uniform civil code. The benchmark requires the differentiation of men versus boys. And just to break it down a little bit, and what Pankaj said, checkpoints should be there in the boys versus men. Infrastructure, installation ability, his own capital or the company's own capital, earn your stripes, number of projects executed, number of millions of square feet executed, and the comfort level with the client and the resources available in case the project has to be done faster instead of 600 people to 700 people. You need money for all of that. At the same time, you need to have the ability to be able to muster up that many people. And I think from Kamlesh, you added about scaling. I think I want to see as an Indian, are people doing jobs around the world, and there is enough world to come in the future. And I would love to probably with Pankaj and Kamlesh probably buy me a ticket and can carry your bag, just take me to your next big fancy project and we can party together there. Like we mentioned about Singapore.
But with one beer, we are all done. Now you have come to a flight ticket.
It's a stepwise process. I build the flow, and I want to make sure that But having said that, jokes apart, thank you both very much for your time today. And I promise you that we will make a difference in the next 2 to 3 years in the Indian market for facade and fenestration. WFM stands for window and facade. And we will make a dent in terms of making sure that our voice of the manufacturers is well heard. And if that voice can convert into, helping the industry grow, and that's my only desire as a true nationalist, to make sure that we all live happily.
One gets it, one doesn't get it, but they're still best of friends. And it's the same with us, right? In a smaller scale, right? We come across, Corona, no Corona. If I meet Kamlesh, I'll give him a hug, right? So that's how it is, right?
So for us, it is always, calm Corona.
Correct.
So with that, thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your holiday wherever you are.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Amit, thank you for the wonderful.
Thank you so much. Pleasure.
And we look forward to having, we'll do a checkpoint every 6 months to a year. Have we made a difference, at least some bit?
Sure.
We will be happy that we contributed to this whole exercise. Thank you all very much. God bless. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Thanks, Amit. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye, Pankaj. Bye, Amit.
Bye. Bye, Kamlesh.